Hey guys, I wanted to make another video about my time working at Halloween Horror Nights. This season, in 2021, I was cast as the Abe Lincoln Purger at the Bates Motel on the Terror Tram. This year's theme for the Terror Tram was of course The Purge. Sadly in 2019, the Terror Tram was gone, so I never got the chance to work it that year, but luckily in 2021 Universal brought it back. I was super excited for the role since I'd be able to have a little more freedom than just a pop-out. My costume was super comfortable and the mask was great. It was a thick plastic with an elastic band, just like one of those masks you get in the costume stores. I also started off the event with an axe, but by the end of the first weekend I switched to a butcher's knife, since I was cutting a victim's throat. This was also my first time working with another scare actor as part of our act, and it was a lot of fun. It was a little awkward at first trying to get the hang of it, communicating with her and everything, but we got it down. So what I'd do is I'd walk back and forth on the porch, interact with some people, and then I'd go over to her and put the knife to her throat, and when I pulled back the knife, she would push a button spraying water at the guest. It was a great gag. The only problem was constantly having to pump the water pressure back up, especially during the nights where the crowds just never stopped coming. Even though the costume was lightweight, I was dying. I was constantly on the move, running up and down the Bates Motel porch, chasing victims, running out on the road at the guest. Some nights we were low staff, so I had to make up for the other actors missing too. But I can't complain, I was having the time of my life. Every day I would come into work and sign in at Scare Base around 4:30, 4:45. I would then get in line to get my costume, go in and change in the dressing rooms, jump on a shuttle, and get down to Bates by about 5:15. We then had our daily meetings at the Psycho House around 5:30, where we would go over notes of the previous nights, give us news and updates on the weather, guest numbers, etc. Finally, we opened first at 6 p.m. along with Texas Chainsaw and Exorcist. At Tram, all the scare actor shifts were 45 minutes on and 45 off. I found out that this was the first time Terror Tram had ever done this, and the first time that each role had a double, which means there were 2 of every character. Before, it would always be 1 hour on and 30 minutes off, which sucked. I had to do that at Creep Show and some of the other mazes. You just never get enough time to breathe between shifts. Besides Tram, I also worked at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre maze for a handful of nights. Sometimes I went to Texas after clocking out from Tram around 12:30. Other times I would get pulled early from Tram right after the event opened, when we were really desperate for actors, and they sent me down to Chainsaw around 6 or 7 p.m. When I was Leatherface, I always got to work in different positions. Every time I was Leatherface for the night, I would swap back and forth between 2 spots. When I was Leatherface at the sewing table, the next shift I would be in the following room with the chainsaw and the body on the table in front of me. I was also in the gas station cutting off a victim's face, and in Grandpa's room running a guest with a chainsaw. I wore both the suit and the pretty lady mask from the end of the film, and then the apron and the regular Leatherface mask from the first half of the film, depending on which scene I was acting in. The role was a lot of fun, and even though the chainsaws were fake and plastic, they do get heavy by the end of the night. I also got to play Bazuzu in the Exorcist maze. I had a silicone mask and gloves and a heavy black rope. I popped down one of the dark hallways towards the end of the maze. Those sets were 30 on and 30 off. I also got to play Michael Myers in Halloween 4 for a night. This was also my first time working in the Waterworld location, and getting to see their very nice break area and behind the scenes of the Waterworld show, which I've always wanted to see. My spot was next to the Haddonfield sign that would light up from the lightning and thunder. I wish I got into work in more of the mazes, but some of them just didn't have roles that I would fit. I had a great time working at Halloween Horror Nights this year. Unlike 2019, I was actually part of a maze from the beginning, which always gives you a better feeling of family, seeing the same people every day, plus getting to work again with your friends that you made in 19. I love hanging out at the motel every night. I had great co-workers, partners, and supervisors. I already miss the role dearly and cannot wait to go back in 2022. I wonder what my role will be next time.